And we're still on with our coverage to the parliamentary elections, and polls opened in several electoral districts across Egypt on Saturday morning to kick off voting in the second phase of Egypt's House of Representatives elections. Around 9,468 polling stations opened their doors for voting on Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. The second phase of the parliamentary elections covers 13 governorates: Cairo, Qalyubiyya, Daqahliya, Munufiyya, Gharbiyya, Kafr al-Sheikh, Sharqiyya, Damyata, Port Said, Ismailiyya, Suez, North Sinai and South Sinai. Around 31 million Egyptians are eligible to cast the ballots in the second phase. And we'll be speaking about the parliamentary elections or the House of Representatives elections in our in this coverage, and throughout the day we'll be updating you with the updates. I guess we have with us over the phone Nermin Rahman from Mansoura, Daqahliya. Nermin.
Yes, Mona.
Yes, if you can raise your voice so I can hear you better. Right. Nermin, good afternoon to you, and let me know.
I can hear you well.
Let me know more about the ongoing process or voting process in Mansoura and in Daqahliya.
Yes, Mona, as you rightly said, I am talking from Mansoura, the capital of Daqahliya Governorate. Daqahliya is one of the biggest governorates, particularly in this second phase of the parliamentary elections. We do have here in Mansoura 4,352,000 eligible voters, a little bit more than that. We have 10 constituencies. We do have 1,426 subcommittees. All the procedures were taken to facilitate the voting process for the voters, and I can say easily that there is a heavy turnout since the early morning, since 9 a.m. when the voting stations opened their doors in front of the voters. As I said in my earlier coverage, that there were many meetings between the concerned bodies, particularly the governor of the province, Dr. Ayman Mukhtar, with the other executive committees and other executive bodies to guarantee that the voting process is going to be that easy for the voters, and also that all the precautionary and preventive measures are taken to guarantee the safety of all of us, whether the judges or the officials inside or the voters themselves. Today in the morning there was a tour which was made by the governor, Dr. Ayman Mukhtar, to make sure that all his instructions are implemented on the ground, and also that all the safety procedures are taken. Nobody is allowed without a mask, nobody is allowed without measuring his or her temperature. Also, the voting process witnessed the participation of approximately all age categories. I cannot say that it's only the elderly, the youth, but there are families who are coming to vote and to participate.
Yes.
Last but not least,
just
Mona,
a minute. Just let me understand more about what you're speaking about. We are in the first day in the voting process in the second phase of the House of Representatives, and we're speaking about a day that is Saturday, which is supposed to be a vacation. And you're telling me now that that all segments of the society have showed up to cast their own voices. So let me here understand from you more. Every segment and each segment, and how did you get in contact with them? Who exactly were the segment that were very much keen to show up early in the morning and then in the next hours? And how do they view the parliamentary elections and its significance?
As you rightly said, Mona, all segments. And I was moving from a school to the other. For example, I'm here in Shajarat al-Dur school in Mansoura, in other schools where I myself voted. I found that there are many segments, as you said, the age categories coming from different backgrounds. And I was keen to ask them about how have you decided to come to participate, to share, because the choice is not that easy. You're talking about 43 candidates competing only for 2. Some would say that they are going to choose the newcomers or the youth in specific just to inject new or fresh blood into our parliamentary life in general. And this was really amazing to witness myself the political awareness of even the layman in the street. It's not a must to be a very well educated person to know well about your political rights. And others would say that they are going to vote for the former parliamentary election, those who proved more than once that they are up to the mission and they are really willing to serve the country, to serve the citizens here in Al Daqahliya. And Mona, women are always there to top the list, to be those behind the camera and now in front of the camera, to make any democratic process a story of success. Since the 2013 revolution, it's now a real image, a wonderful one, a fact on the ground that the Egyptian women can do miracles, and the Egyptian women are very much aware of their political rights and knowing well also that they can build the future by their own hands, not only for them or even not only for their children, but for the coming generations in general. Mona?
Yes, Nermin, let me understand from you on the first day and how you can assess the turnout so far.
I was surprised, Mona, to find queues in front of 2 or 3 polling stations when I was on my way to the school I am in right now. Before 9 a.m. Before 9 a.m. I found people keen to be in front of the gates of the schools where they are going to vote, even before 9 a.m. in the morning. And just 2 or 3 hours later, I found the same story, but I would also assure all people that social distance is there, and the officials here were not to allow more than 2 voters to come inside at a time to cast their ballot. So I can easily say that it's more than moderate. It's relatively a heavy turnout. And of course here I'm speaking about El Mansoura, but we heard from our colleagues from the countryside, from the villages around El Mansoura, as you know, and as I said, Al Daqahliya is a big governorate, that the same story is repeated all over Al Daqahliya, and maybe even in the villages it's heavier than the cities.
Right, Nermin. Right, Nermin, Abdul Rahman, thank you so much for being with us from Mansoura, Daqahliya, and for updating you. Of course, we'll be calling you during the next hours to tell us more details and the updates. And before we continue on, as Nermin said here, there were strict directions for all the polling stations and constituencies all over the governorates, which is where the voting process is taking place, to take all the precautionary measures in order to avert any spread of the coronavirus and take all the risks, or to prevent all the risks. And as Nermin said, some 2,083 candidates are competing in this round for 70 individual seats, while 284 candidates are competing under the list system in 2 districts. The results for the second stage are set to be announced on the 15th of November, and runoffs are due to be held later in November and in December. And the winners will take their seats in the parliamentary, the upper house, in January. Before we move on with our discussion, let's first have this quick review to some of the headlines of the week. Let's watch.